Coming up on this week's episode of the Big Reviewski, we've got a very, very special prize to give away to you. But what could it be? What could it... It's this. It's the Infinity Gauntlet from Avengers Endgame, and it could be yours. Stay tuned. Greetings, movie fans. You're all very welcome to the Big Reviewski. My name is Owen Doherty. We're here with Omniplex Cinemas. Look, that's them right over there. I'm delighted and a little bit scared this week because I'm joined by two of the world's greatest hitmen. They were both lovely guys, and then somebody came along and killed both their dogs. Yeah, Fufu and Mr. Snooky Pants. It is, of course, Paul Moore. Those aren't your names. It's Paul Moore and Rory Cashin.
Which dog do you want?
I feel like mine is Mr. Snooky Pants.
I'll take Fufu. Yeah.
Okay, what type of dogs were they?
Mr. Snooky
Dead.
Pants.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Sorry,
You're bringing this
Sorry.
all up here. Is it all uphill from here? Mr. Snooky Pants was half bulldog, half Shih Tzu.
Okie dokie. Bullshit. Got it. Nice. I actually didn't get it until I said it out loud. What type of dog was Fufu?
I'd probably have to be a terrier.
Okay.
Yeah. Once it wasn't a cat, then I'd just walk off the show.
That's fine.
And I think the dogs might tie into something that's out this week. Some film that I haven't been excited about. I don't know if you watched it. Like, this is the show I've been most excited for, I think, since the podcast back in the day, since the show started, since everything started.
This is...
Since cinema started.
Since cinema
was invented. This is, of course, John Wick, which is very exciting. Do you miss your dogs? Yeah?
This joke is not as funny as you think it is. It's a
why-
real downer.
Okay.
Why would you be reminding us that
You're
dead
talking
dogs
about
pretty
dead
morbid.
dogs for a lot.
We'll keep things moving. If you'd like to pass on your condolences to either Rory or Paul, please do get in touch. You can tweet us at Big Reviewski, or you can get in touch on the Joe Instagram as well. And don't forget to subscribe, whether it's where you get your podcasts or where you watch YouTube, which is
YouTube.
the internet. YouTube.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Where do you watch YouTube?
Yeah, where you watch your YouTube. I'm not one prone to exaggeration, but I think this is
really,
going to be one of the most spectacular shows we've ever done. Yes, we've got Omniplex cinema tickets to give away. Yes, we've got Anne Hathaway on the show, as well as a very special cameo
You said
appearance.
Anne Hathaway was like a singular Hathaway.
Only Anne Hathaway. Only one Hathaway is on the show this week, as well as a cameo appearance. But I think we do have the greatest prize that we've ever given away. But instead of me telling you what it is...
It's a signed Showgirls poster.
It's a date with Owen.
That's both those things. The Showgirls poster is next week and the date is the week after. But yeah, instead of telling you what the prize is, why don't I just show you?
Jesus! Josh Brolin's hand!
I know, right? It's pretty impressive.
That's some magical
That's,
powers you've got there.
That's phenomenal. I wonder, will it work again?
No, let's not try it.
No, well, too late. It is, of
Half our
course...
viewers are dead.
Yeah, sorry to everybody. More condolences to everybody who just disappeared in the snapshot there. It is, of course, Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Now, whenever Marvel got in touch to say they would like us to give away the Infinity Gauntlet as a prize, they were like, it's life-sized. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, because that'd be cool to just fit on your hand.
Sure.
Because these are the size of our arms and our hands.
But not your life.
Not our life. It's actually Thanos' actual size, and he is, of course, a titan.
Mad how the three of us wrestled it off him, but it took like the Guardians.
I know,
Spider-Man,
exactly.
We just asked him nicely.
Yeah,
Just gave him.
We just went for the head. That was it, pretty much. And now we've got this. So do stay tuned to find out how you can win the Infinity Gauntlet, because we're going to be giving it away before next week's show and announcing the winner there. It is phenomenal.
That would be a good conversation starter. If you go into someone's house and that's there, you're going to ask questions.
Yeah. I really it's probably difficult to really get across. Like, people at home probably looking at that and thinking, oh, it's just closer to the camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really,
what's it there?
really large.
That's
It
pretty
is
big. Yeah.
huge. It is really heavy, and it's got its own display stand as well.
And it's lights.
And it has lights. It lights up, so all the Infinity Stones are actually on there as well.
Which of the stones would you take if you had to?
Is there a sexy stone?
You've already got that, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah, sort of. I'd probably go Mind Stone. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think if I had the Mind Stone, I could just get what I want out of everyone else, and then it'd be fine. That'd be sorted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very insightful.
yeah. But
I'm actually
it's
just going
true,
to make
though.
a note of that.
Okay.
Why
I'd
won't
probably
you
do
go
the
for it?
base stone, I'd just be like, off I go. No more. Like right now, I'd be like, bored, out.
I'm off to search the galaxy for the sexy stone. Okay, bye. What would you go for?
Time stone, so I can reverse about your decisions and then just constantly keep messing with you
Oh, no,
over and
that's
over
really
again.
annoying.
Yeah,
That's really annoying.
That's very on brand for you.
Yeah, that's very bummer. Anyway, we do have the Infinity Gauntlet to give away, and that was a great big question, but it's not the actual big question, because for this week's big question, it's over to... Oh, it's Paul. Paul.
We're back. Yes, John Wick 3, a film that I am somewhat muted in my excitement levels for.
Very low-key.
Didn't spend a month talking about it, no end, and didn't pick it as my big trailer, and haven't followed every note of its production since it was announced, is released this week. But the star of it, a man who you've met, I'm not sure, Rory, have you ever met Keanu?
No.
Oh, rub it in. Ask him again.
You met him on the first John Wick, I remember, and always loved Keanu Reeves. I always thought a bit underrated as an actor as well. I think he's pretty okay.
I think
great.
he's rated correctly.
You think?
He's really correct.
But away from, like, obviously one of the biggest action stars, I think, in the planet consistently has been.
He's got an amazing agent.
Really?
Yeah, his agent must be like, no, seriously, do
This
the
is the next project, yeah.
Seriously, do Speed, do Point Break.
Yeah.
Because it feels like all of his projects are like, every now and again he'll end up being a part of something that every action fan is like, oh, I have to go see that.
Yeah,
and he knew not to do Speed 2.
That's true.
What a genius.
Poor Jason Patrick, he needs his agent.
Yeah.
But aside from his work on screen for the last few decades, he's also an unbelievably nice man as well. The stories about him donating money to children's hospitals in private, actually. And there's a story that he gave his bonus on the Matrix films to all the people that worked on it, the choreographers and the stunt people and stuff like that. So a really, really nice dude. But I want to know who in Hollywood, or what lovely stories have you heard about actors or actresses that you just want to share? It's an upbeat one. I'm happy. It's John Wick week.
Yeah, because a lot of these kind of do the rounds and you're unsure how true they are, urban legends, that kind of stuff. So there's a bunch of like Keanu Reeves ones definitely just about what a nice guy is. And even just like, people love him anyway. He had that answer on whatever late night talk show he was on just recently.
Oh, what happens when we
Stephen Colbert, was it?
Was it? Yeah, and when it just what happens when you die, basically. He just had this really lovely answer about
People who
People
love
love
you.
us will miss you.
Did you cry?
Of course I cried. I cried at everything.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
welling up just because that Infinity Gauntlet is there.
The emotion's down.
Oh no.
They're happy
Does
tears.
anyone
They're
have
happy tears for John Wick week.
I'd love to see that gauntlet just hold like a little tissue for me. There you go. Well, Paul, what did you go for?
I went for Reeves. I think if I ask the question, I have to stick with him. He is my inspiration for it. And I just love the fact that, not to get too much of a downer, he has had a bit of bad news in his own personal life. I won't say too much.
Speed
But like,
2 script.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has a few losses as well. But he's seen an incredibly upbeat and optimistic and happy type of fella. And I like to see nice people get breaks as well. He just seems really cool.
He does seem
Definitely.
genuinely nice.
Yeah.
Was he nice?
Oh, he was great. He was so lovely.
Did you give him M&Ms to choose from?
Smarties. I had a red Smartie and a blue Smartie, and I reenacted the scene from The Matrix where Lawrence Fishburne offers him a red pill or a blue pill.
Thanks
And he
for
appreciated
explaining
it. Those Smarties have been stuck in my front pocket, I think, for about a good
eBay.
8 hours. There were bits of fluff on them and everything. He wouldn't take them off me, which is understandable. But he did do... I did offer them to him, and he did do a very Keanu Reeves. He said the word gifts, but he said it like this, where he went, he went, gifts, which is great.
I think did he have a line that he goes, "It's always funny when your face melts."
Oh, when
off."
your
It's like,
face
what?
melts, yeah. It was a very Keanu Reevesy
I
type
love
of
Keanu.
interview.
I always
yeah.
did love Keanu.
Go back and watch
Yeah,
that. I think.
definitely. So who did you go for?
Yeah. So I was looking through for examples of it, and like I almost went with a certain actor, but then I was looking at what he actually did, and it was more like gave money to people who needed money, and well, that's really, really nice.
Admirable.
It is the easiest thing to do. I always get like a little bit peeved when it's my birthday or something, and somebody just gives me a card and has money, and I'm like, you didn't put any effort into this.
What did you get? Rory for his last birthday?
He didn't have to give me
that.
money, so nothing.
And
You
here's one
dog.
for your next birthday. Good on you, Rory. You're alive.
So I was looking for like something that was a little bit more personal, and I know this might not be the best actor to pick right now because he had a little bit of recent controversy. But I went with Viggo Mortensen,
Okay.
and there's the story there. When he when they were wrapping up on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, there was a stunt lady, and she fell in love with the horse that she was doing the stunts with.
It's not allowed. It's illegal.
It's a platonic love. It's
Okay.
fine. It's equestrian love. And she was very upset that, like, when the filming was finished, that she had to say goodbye to the horse. So he bought her the horse because she couldn't afford to buy it.
That is a lovely
That's
gesture.
Yeah.
Are you saying for your next birthday, when you open the card,
want a
you wanted
horse.
to be a horse in there?
Like The Godfather, but like, just,
Yeah, but with the rest of the horse body there as well. No, that is
I
lovely.
could
That is
just
super
pretend.
super sound for him. So putting his money to good use.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth as well.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
how long
good.
are you waiting?
No, that's a
just
good one.
came- that just
I
came
think
to
that
me.
deserves a tick. I'm not in charge of the
You're not.
ticking though.
You're not.
Big tick energy.
I have to say, as soon as I heard the horse story, I was just thinking, wasn't Liam Neeson said the horse recognised him from one of the films he did? Yeah. So horses are smart,
Yeah,
dude.
horses are great.
Particularly if they
yeah.
work with Liam Neeson, because the horse seems to remember them. Anyway, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, the horse is a lovely gesture, and I know what you mean about kind of giving the money, and obviously Keanu Reeves been super sound as well. Mine is a more recent one where it was actually the end of last year. We had the story up on Joe because this story went kind of viral around the world. It was last October, and in Australia, and it was actually one of the stars of the Avengers films, Chris Hemsworth, was driving with his friend, who's also his trainer, a guy called Luke Zocchi. And the two of them were driving along, and they were on their way to Byron Bay in Australia, and they spotted a hitchhiker. And along the way, this is them, they were filming themselves in the car, and they managed to spot this hitchhiker. And we'll watch the clip now in a wee second. But he was holding up the sign, Byron Bay, and they were like, this is it, we'll pick him up. He had a guitar case. So what they did was they pulled over, said hello to him. They were like, it's Chris Hemsworth. Got into the car, and they were like, oh, we're going to Byron Bay, sure, we'll give you a lift as well. Amazing. What the guy, his name is Scott Hildebrand, what he didn't know was that they were actually flying to a nearby airfield, and they had a helicopter tanked up, ready to go, and this was their pilot. He was like, we've got an extra passenger, so they set him up and they flew him. They were always going to fly anyway, but they flew him to Byron Bay, and he got a free lift to it. And it was just, so they just flew him over the Australian coast all the way up there, and they were just going surfing, and that was it. It was unbelievable. It's such a cool gesture. So here's their little video from Instagram with Chris Hemsworth, Luke Zocchi picking up their hitchhiker friend, Scott Hildebrand.
Okay, so we've just landed in Brizzy. We've just seen a guy who's hitchhiking to Byron Bay. That's where we're going, isn't it, Chris?
Byron, we'll give him a lift.
Little does he know that we're getting a chopper. Here he is, guys. Here is the hitchhiker.
Where's he headed?
Who's talking? I'm Luke. Nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Australia.
Just coming from Mexico right now.
You're coming from Mexico, legend.
I'm headed to Byron.
Well, we're going to Byron. That's where we live, bro.
That's
We're going, mate.
Let's go surfing.
Gonna chip into the gas, alright? It's $4,000.
Are you guys flying to Byron?
You're chopper in the Byron Bay, brother. Scotty, boy. Scotty, Gary. Scotty's it. It's his first time. He doesn't know. Chris, can you help him?
I'll help you with these, mate.
Oh, there you go. There you go, mate.
All right, Scotty, dream's over. Back to the normal hitchhiking.
Yes.
Combis and stuff, mate. You're on.
Thank you, man.
Packing your luggage, throw it in, mate.
Always be careful. Stranger danger. Don't just pick up lifts from any random person. But if it is Chris Hemsworth and he has got a spare helicopter,
I'm jumping in front of that car.
yeah, you're like, don't stop the car, Chris Hemsworth. I want a lift. Yeah, so I checked out your man Scott Hildebrand is a musician. No idea why he didn't call himself Scott Hildeband, which obviously would have been much better. But
There's only one of them.
well, there's only one of them, but he's a one-man band, Hildebrand.
A man.
Yeah, but I thought his career would have taken off after this, so I looked him up.
It did take off. He went up in a helicopter.
I did. Come on,
This
you're
has been a
running
real,
out of
this has
takes
been a,
here.
been a real
So
roller
many
coaster.
takes. But yeah, so there are super sound celebrity stories.
Nice alliteration.
Thanks very much. Completely coincidental. But yeah, so if you've got any favourite celebrity stories, you can let us know, and
Or if they met
we'll
anyone.
read them in our own time.
If they met anyone.
Or if you met anyone, yeah, actually, and they were unbelievably sound
Or
as well.
weren't.
or if they were horrible.
Rory wants the
we'd
dirt.
like to hear about that. If you met a celebrity and they were a prick, tell us. We'll call them out. Yeah. So up next on the Big Reviewski, it is time for the big trailer of the week, and for this week's big trailer, Rory Cashin.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, last week we were drowning in options, and this week I feel there was just the one. because I think it's the one that everyone's dying to see. Sequel to the biggest horror movie of all time. And the trailers, it's pretty good because it's not the usual scary movie trailer where it's quiet, and then lots of stuff and then maybe a jump. It really teases out a single scene for a long time before setting up everything else. So here is our first proper look at It Chapter 2.
Yes, may I help you?
I used to live here.
Won't you come in? It's the least I can do. Is it like you remember?
Cleaner.
Well, you feel free to look around while I get the water boiling.
Your hair is winter fire. January embers. My heart burns there too.
Okay, I have something to admit, first of all.
You haven't seen the first date?
I haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it because I am fucking terrified of
Why
it.
is he still doing this shit?
I know, because you two guys have seen it. Well, as you said, Rory, it's the biggest horror film of all time.
Yep.
Just did phenomenally well. And Warner Brothers are obviously, I think it was released around the start of September 2 years ago.
2017, yeah.
And so they're going for that same kind of magical spot at the start of September again. And this is the first kind of glimpse, and it's a pretty fantastic trailer. And obviously, because of the money they made the last time, they've got an unbelievable cast as well.
Jessica Chastain, who's just amazing. You're a good mate, James McAvoy.
Yep. Good casting as well. Kind of looks
etc.
like him. Bill Hader. Bill Hader.
Yeah, I mean, like Bill Skarsgård's back as Pennywise, and he was just so good as Pennywise in the first one. And one of my favourite things about the first one was that Joe, but specifically almost you, held a screening of it in Derry.
Yeah, I know, because of course the film is set in Derry, mainly.
But a different Derry. This is our Derry.
And there is a great line in the film where the creepy old lady.
You can just say old lady.
I can just say old lady. It automatically happens. Have you met my granny? She's a creepy old lady. Yeah, she has that line about nobody ever really dies in Derry. I'm like, oh, class. So I can meet my creepy old granny again. That's nice to hear.
Fab.
Yeah, brilliant. It's actually just before the show started. Shane, who's our sound guy,
Hi, Shane.
super sound, was watching the trailer for the first time, and we should have actually filmed him because there was a lot of fuck that. Fuck that. No way. And then looking again. And then, no, not happening.
This film actually has the record for the most blood in it. It's actually managed to top The Shining for that sequence alone. I remember reading that before. They said they used the most amount of fake blood on this film than any other. Not the two parts,
Fake blood.
just this one. Yes, they didn't kill the granny. So if you think The Shining and the elevator scene was too much, this is going to elevate it. And I really like the first It. More so for the drama. I actually really enjoyed the kind of more Stand By Me vibe to it than I did actually the horror beats, and we're massive horror fans. I actually thought that it was really well acted and paced. So if they go for the exact same thing for part 2, which you saw the miniseries, you'll know exactly what unfolds. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. I think we'll maybe top the first.
No, brilliant. So when did we say it's out?
September 6th.
September 6th. Okay, so
We're going to drag Owen to both of them.
I'm going to drag Shane.
Shane and me. No, just Shane?
Just Shane.
Just Shane.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's It Chapter 2 out at the start of September. I'll just go me on. That's fine.
won't.
That's fine.
You won't go at all.
I won't. No, I'll just wait. Yes, as I said, we also have a very special cameo appearance on this week's show. But before we reveal our mystery guest, let's take a look at the clip for The Hustle, which is a brand new film starring Rebel Wilson and our Hollywood star.
Singular.
And only one. And it's funny. I like it. Anne Hathaway. We only have a Hathaway on the show today.
Hathaway.
Yeah. So here's a clip of The Hustle.
Is the seat taken? I'll just get a glass of water, please. I have to save all my money because I'm here to find my sister. She's been taken.
Taken? Like
By men who sell hot white virgins to cajillionaires on yachts.
I am very moved by your story. Order anything you like.
I'll have a club sandwich and an order of fries, 2 slices of cake. Do you want any cake?
No.
3 slices of cake and a Diet Coke.
Impressive.
I'm a con artist.
Sisters in arms.
I idea how small time I was until I met you.
Penny, why are women better suited to the calm than men?
Because we're used to faking it.
Because no man will ever believe a woman is smarter than he is.
Is it valuable?
$500,000.
I like it because it's shiny.
I could be the partner you never knew you needed. Teach me your sugar baby ways. Take this to the guest room, butlery person.
First lesson, there's nothing more compelling to a man than a vulnerable woman. Observe.
Wow, you can just tear up like that. Can you make the tear roll down your cheek? Oh.
Now you try. Are you constipated?
Would you please give a very, very special Big Reviewski welcome to... Yeah, here it comes. Miss Denise Curtin.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. I didn't know where you were going to introduce me or not. I thought that was going to be a joke and it was going to be about Anne Hathaway, and I was just waiting.
That was a pretty good gag, though, wasn't it?
It was gas. I did laugh. I had a laugh.
We used one of the time stones to bring her here.
That was exactly it. Oh, she was on the click the fingers again. Look, when you run out for a wee second. Yeah. Denise, of course, you're here. You're not with Joe, but you are
I'm
with
here with her.
Her,
yes,
gotcha.
Yes,
Just to make this very, very clear.
Just to make it very clear.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there we go.
But you had the pleasure of speaking to Star of the Hustle, Miss Anne Hathaway. I just can't say her name anymore. How was she, though?
She was fantastic. I'm going to let you in a secret.
Fantastic.
Would you give it a rest?
Jesus.
I'm going to mark myself down.
Admirable.
Oh, lads. I'm trying to
Go back in time. Go back in time.
Either myself and Paul will disappear or Rory and Denise. Either way, I'm happy. Either way.
But no, she was great. And I didn't think I was going to like her as a person. I don't know why.
I get that.
That's like a general consensus.
Yeah, I just had this ick, okay? So
Oh.
before the interview, I was just a bit like, okay, this will be grand. And then I met her and she was beautiful and fabulous and really, really nice woman. So yeah, I had a great time with her.
All round fantastic person.
Fan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another word that has the letters A and N in it. What did you think of the hustle? Because Rory was said he wasn't overly fussed with it last week.
Let's
That's
not
kind.
beat around the bush here. I said it was quite bad.
Well, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Rory.
It's not just me.
Okay.
I found it was very played up for laughs. You know, like cue, laugh, which annoyed me. But you know, it served its purpose as a comedy.
okay.
Would you say?
No, I
Rory hasn't laughed in 4 years.
Appreciate well, if I was around funnier people, I might.
Oh,
Someone tickle him.
I appreciate that. They really did try, and I think Anne really went hell for leather in it because she has a few different accents across the space of the film.
Yes.
But in terms of it serving its purpose as a comedy, I was like, yeah, I don't think I laughed once. I did laugh once, but it was because it wasn't funny.
yeah. I think I laughed at the parts that you weren't meant to laugh at, a bit like that too. And I did find the odd part funny, but where they were trying to hike you up for a laugh, then I was like, no, come on now.
So it's obviously two-hander. Rebel Wilson is in there as well.
Yeah,
as kind
she
of
is.
her partner.
Two-hander.
Oh, Jesus.
Two.
Denise, I'm so sorry. Even though you did play a part in this earlier on, I'm still apologising to you. But yeah, because kind of that unlikely, putting the two of them together, which obviously one of those buddy cop films or anything like that, because they're obviously playing two con people in this one.
They are. They're playing con artists that have a different type of skill set, but they're both quite good in their trade. But then Anne, who plays Josephine, takes on Rebel, who plays Penny, under her wing to kind of teach her about more trades of the con. And that's kind of where the film kicks off from. But yeah, Anne she's different in it to roles I've seen her in before. And Rebel just kind of plays herself. But the accent thing did vary.
My belly. Sorry.
Is that what that noise was?
What that, my
I
belly.
thought that was you going, as in her accent is a bit.
My organs are disagreeing. No.
That's how strongly Rory
Rory's
feels
getting
about this. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good one. Yeah. So you're saying the accent is a wee because you did get chatting about the accent.
I did get chatting to her about the accent. I really wanted to know what she personally thought of her accent.
Okay.
And she didn't want to do it, so that's understandable because it shows.
Okay.
You know?
Here's Anne Hathaway admitting that.
Oh God, I didn't want to do it. It's so hard for me. It's so hard for me to like learn the whole thing and then get out of your head and then try to
imagine.
just like let it go, be funny. Because you know the thing that's the death of comedy is like overthinking things, and it's just that accent. So I look at myself and I'm like, you're doing an accent. Anyway, so I just got the best dialect coach in the world, Joan Washington. And and the thing that really freed me up was I decided my character wasn't necessarily British.
Okay.
Because I just thought that's just going to be kind of, I don't know, that was just too much pressure. So I decided that she was just she's a con artist, so she just decided she was British. So she wasn't born that way, but she found it, and that's who she is now.
Okay, so pretty honest, just like didn't really want to do the accent,
She
but I just
didn't,
made her British anyway.
And I probably set her up because I told her the accent was fabulous.
Yeah, but that's nice.
It was. I'm a polite girl, so she then went on to tell me she didn't want to do it, and I laughed and agreed because
you're a polite girl.
I am a polite girl.
Yeah. And in terms of working with Rebel Wilson, because I know you can see the full interview is up on her, and up on her YouTube page as well. And you were chatting about her because she didn't know Rebel from before, and they kind of got to know each other. But you chatted a little bit about like kind of the two of them.
We did, and she gave quite an interesting insight because she was telling me how different her and Rebel are in real life compared to what they are like on screen, which surprised me because I always imagined Anne to be quite similar to the way she is on screen in real life, but she told me that that isn't true, that is actually false. Yeah. So that was quite interesting.
She's a crazy, crazy party animal.
Yeah, she is.
This
wild,
is
wild bitch.
Yeah, Jesus.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was really, really great. I think people probably think that Rebel and I have each other's personalities. I think people think that I'm kind of like reserved and serious and focused, and that she's just like kind of, you know, a little bit louder and kind of like cracks jokes. Where that's my personality in real life, and she's the one who's more focused.
Okay.
And then you yell action and we switch personalities again. So I actually think that we do complement each other really, really well. And I just really like her. I just really think she's fun and smart, and she's just got this fascinating life.
Yeah.
So I just kind of just asked her to tell me stories about like her as a teenager, and I'll leave her to tell you them herself. But I mean, I just think she's fascinating.
Like that stuff about the accent is all well and good. The stuff about Rebel Wilson, fascinating as well. But what everybody wants to know, and I know it was the first question out of Paul Moore's mouth earlier on, was
when's Princess Diaries 3 coming?
Yeah, Princess Diaries 3. That's it.
I know,
That's all we
and
know.
I had to get that in. I was like, if there's one thing I'm asking Anne Hathaway, it's when are we getting a Princess Diaries 3? And she is up for doing it, which is a good thing.
Exciting.
And she did say back in January that there is a script now, although when she was talking to me, she was a bit, you know, watching her Q's and T's, and she's like, oh, it's all with Disney. But there is a script, and she is really on board to do it. So hopefully Julie Andrews would be too, and Chris Pine, and we'd get all of them back.
Definitely. Paul, how do you feel about that?
Well, he wrote the script, so
I'm starting to believe again. I'm starting to be happy.
Happy days.
Forget about John Wick 3.
We need more princess representation on screen.
100%.
We really do. And it's like 2001 is when the first one came out. 2004 is when the second film came out. So it's been a long ass time.
People are ready for it.
We are so ready. Yeah.
Because you were saying to her, you watched this film growing up anyway.
I did. It was like my sleepover movie. And it actually made me binge watch the other two when I went home after the interview because I was thinking about Princess Diaries so much. And they're still iconic. I love them. I know Paul's kind of like, yeah.
No. I'm being serious about Paul loving the films.
I haven't seen them.
Okay, here's Anne Hathaway talking about Princess Diaries 3.
But I mean, it had something about it. I can't even put my finger. I just thought it was because I was in a movie and with Julie Andrews, and it was fun, and it was so fun. But I never imagined that it would be as significant 20 years later as it was then. But I have little girls come up to me all the time, and they watch it in their sleepovers. And then I have girls in their 20s come up to me and say, "Oh my God, this was like my favorite movie growing up." And it's just it's such a gift, and I can't believe that was kind of like my first go at it. You know, to kind of just your work just winds up being a part, like this thing that you just did for a little bit amount of time has mattered for so long for so many people. It's incredible.
So it turns out Paul hasn't actually seen the other Princess Diaries
And it
films.
turns out that you actually also haven't seen them.
No,
which
this is true, and it turns out Rory hasn't
ridiculous.
seen the Princess
The only
Diaries films
princess.
either.
Well, the reason you won't go see it is because you're too afraid. And the reason I won't go see the Princess Diaries is because I'm afraid I'll fall in love again. Start to believe in love again.
Oh, after Mr. Snooky
That's my
Pants.
fear.
Owen doesn't believe in any sort of monarchy at all, so like that's the reason why. Yeah.
That's for a different time. That's fine.
This is not that show.
This is not that show.
Princess Leia. I'll give you Princess Leia. Yeah.
Please join me on another podcast. Get rid of the royals. Out every Thursday. But thingamabobber, I watch it and Princess Diaries in a double bill then, or triple bill with number 2 as well.
We'll do a special when the third one comes out where we'll do a 2-hour special of all the 3 films, in-depth analysis of everything that goes on in
Perfect.
Princess Diaries. Yeah.
Down for it.
Or you could go It Part 1, Princess Diaries Part 1, then 2. That'll really mess you up. You don't know. You leave the cinema, you won't know where you are.
What's going on?
Going up from down, yeah.
that princess
I'm
dressed as
terrified,
a
but I want to
clown?
be a princess at the same time. I don't know whether to dress like a clown or a princess.
Yeah.
We'll just do half and half on centre.
That works. So, well, thanks a million for going to chat to Anne. As we said, the full interview is up on her and up on the YouTube channel for her as well.
Up on YouTube.
And, yeah.
Yeah. So, because you do have some more exciting guests coming up. Later
I
on,
do.
so-
I have some very interesting people who I may or may not have met before, and I may or may not be in a relationship with coming up.
These
Yeah,
are just
so
Denise's friends, basically. People
that don't know me.
But will you come back on the show then whenever you talk to
Yeah, I
them as
will.
well?
I'll
Okay.
definitely come back
Sweet.
to do that.
Future.
And give the chairs a go.
Yeah,
again,
I'll
'cause
give
they're
an
quality.
analysis on all the
Nice.
rest.
Where you get The
Amazing.
Rock again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of The Rock, he's got nothing to do with this film. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. We're going with Parabellum. Is out in cinemas this week, and we're about to take a little look at the film itself. But Denise, thanks a million for joining us. Everyone,
Thank you so much.
another round of applause for Miss Denise Curtin. Do you want to use the power of the Infinity Gauntlet to just kind of click yourself
Okay,
out of here?
will
Would
I?
that be all right?
Ready?
Okay.
Lit it.
Do you expect him to make it out? A $14 million bounty on his head. And everyone in the city wants a piece of it. I say the odds are about even. Doc, 5 seconds.
John Wick, excommunicado in effect in 3,
2,
1.
and away we go.
I can't believe that actually worked. She took the chair and everything.
She did like the chair.
She did love the chair. Denise, if you're watching, would you please give us back our Omniplex red chair? Much appreciated.
Or if not, Justine, bring your own next week.
Yeah,
or
of
whenever
course.
you're back.
Yeah, you're going
Time
to
to
sit
use
on
the time
floor.
stone again.
Here we go again. So this is the moment everyone has been waiting for. It is, of course, the review of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. We know that Paul is unbelievably excited. The first 2 films, the first one just kind of took the world by surprise with just how incredible the action was, and Keanu Reeves just super slick and cool as John Wick. But Rory, this is the 3rd one in the franchise. Oh God. Break the news. How was it?
Pretty good.
Yes!
Pretty good.
Happy days.
I was speaking to you before we started recording about my opinion of the first 2 John Wicks. I think the first one is really good, and I thought the second one was just good.
Yeah.
And I think the third one is back up to really good again.
Wow.
I can't. Did I go? Was it with you? Maybe. I can't remember
we
now.
went to see it.
We saw them together.
Yeah,
didn't we?
We saw 1 and 2 back to back.
Oh no, that wasn't me.
That was
No.
just me then.
That was just
I just keep hallucinating friends to go see films with. I saw 1 and 2 back to back, and that was my first time seeing 2 as well. And I noticed over the course of the 4 hours that the action scenes actually got quite repetitive.
Right.
It's a lot of him shooting someone in the leg and then holding that person in place while he shoots 3 other more people in the head, and then he'll shoot that person in the head, and then he'll move on. Except it was just in different nightclubs or different
Italy
parts of the
or
world.
wherever
Yeah,
it was,
an
yeah.
Italian nightclub.
Yeah.
Where I was very happy with this, and that they did successfully mix up the set pieces a good bit, because as you see in the trailer, there's stuff involving motorcycle chases, and there's a big one involving a horse, and there's a few sword fights.
Dogs.
Dogs.
That was Fufu and Mr. Snooky Pants' last film role.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before
I
they
love
went
them.
to the big casting call in the sky.
Yeah.
And there's some really good stuff. And in my opinion, the very best action sequence out of the 3 movies is in this one.
Holy moly.
But it takes place right at the start of John Wick 3. And once I giggled so much through it because it's so violent in a really fun way.
Yeah.
And it never quite comes back up to that level again. It picks up literally seconds after the end of John Wick 2, where Ian McShane has given him an hour head start to essentially get out before every assassin in New York, and then the world tries to kill him. And it's just him on the run, basically. But there's a lot of stuff in it. I loved the simplicity of the first John Wick. Someone killed his dog. He's upset.
Yeah.
He goes to kill them all. That's fine. This one, there's so much stuff that you're like, no, you don't. I don't know if you needed all of this, because we've already been introduced to a lot more new characters, especially after the second one. And this one piles on even more supporting characters. And some of them are great. Halle Berry's a great addition. She throws herself into... She practically has that whole dog attack scene to herself. John's in it as well, but it actually focuses on her. And if the movie, if there is a fourth one, if they pair the two of them together for the whole movie, that'll be amazing because they're both class. But then there's other bits. That guy...
Bowery King?
No, he was in Game of Thrones.
Oh, Bronn.
Jerome
Flynn.
Yeah, he plays like an Italian mobster guy, and the accent, you're like, whoa. And then it doesn't land properly, and then the actual final set piece as well doesn't match up to the level that has come to everything before. But Keanu's great. Performances are good. It looks super slick. There's a lot to like.
Dogs are good.
Dogs are good. They're not in it. They're in it for that one scene with him and Halle, and then that's kind of it. But yeah, there's an awful lot to like. It's just I feel they've added too much, and this one it's well over 2 hours long.
Right.
Which for a fun John Wick assassin movie,
that's good news for me.
I know.
Why isn't it longer?
I know. Like you feel it. You feel it's that long because the film just keeps adding more subplots and more like there goes in some really, really odd kind of almost comic booky directions with the stories going. You're like, whoa.
Well, even looking at the trailer, it's kind of it's like, how the hell have they ended up in a desert somewhere?
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to finding out how the hell they end up in a desert.
They got probably the two best martial artists from the Raid as well. We're big fans of the Raid, all of us. So I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. I presume they're not gonna settle their disputes over a cup of tea. But I'd be different. I kind of like how they've added to the world. You had the high table in the second one and stuff, and there is the TV show they're doing. So they're clearly when they've made the first one, they didn't know this was going to be a franchise. I can kind of understand them growing it. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do with the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, and Lance Reddick, I always loved in the first two films. He's the maitre d'. Is maitre d' or the
concierge of the Hotel Continental.
And Ian McShane is one of those people whose delivery of every line is just like amazing, like Jonathan. I love him.
He's always got an eyebrow up. Even when he doesn't, you feel like his voice has an eyebrow up.
So arched. And of course, as you said, Lawrence Fishburne is back as well. It's great to see Angelica Houston in there. Which means we're obviously this is an Irish film.
Sure.
Thanks, Angelica.
But there's like even with those additions, there's still, and I'm not going to get into too much heavy plot stuff, but there's still 3 more important characters that are introduced in this one.
Okay, cool.
Like I do enjoy the world that they put him in. Like the Continental is such a great idea. The whole thing with the coins and the high table. It's just I feel at this point now they don't need any more. It's added on so much, and it simply like it's not taking anything away.
Yeah, let's just live in this world now. That's enough.
You've done it. So now just tell us the story in this world instead of continually building the world.
And what about Keanu? Like, because I like the first one because it was a very simple story. You said it about trying to find his heart and soul. I thought the second one moved away from it a bit. It was more like a revenge tale. I know they kind of grew the past, but like, I'm not looking for overriding, dramatic moments. It's an action film, but like, does he have does he have something to kind of chew into?
Not so much. No, it's just him. The film is him on the run, like just basically trying to survive, which is fine. But it doesn't really go too much further than that, which again is fine because that's like totally in his wheelhouse to be just a cool action dude who's mostly emotionless, be that John Wick or Keanu. So like he's good, but if there is a fourth one, which I feel there will be, maybe just pump the brakes on the world and then just start blowing it up.
And have more Halle Berry.
More Halle Berry, which is true of every film.
I think there will be a fourth one because Paul will be responsible for breaking box office records to see John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, which is out in cinemas this week. So happy with that, Paul? Yeah.
Can't wait. That was a good review, Rory.
Good.
I might just go see it now.
Maybe you might have convinced Paul.
Just
to
that
go and
one
see
guy.
It.
Who was already going.
Just there in my John Wick suit with a dog.
Like styling your hair in that specific way.
Keanu going, whoa.
that is, of course, as we said, out in cinemas this week. Some of the other brilliant films that are still out, obviously Avengers Endgame. We're going to get to our competition now and let you know how you can win your very
I
own
forgot that was here.
Infinity Gauntlet. It's right there.
It's not as big as
the
you would
elephant
think.
glove in the room.
It really just kind of becomes part of the
what's it-
set
is it
without
in
noticing.
Scale, like that's a finger there.
Yeah, it really pulls the room together, so it does. It's quality. This week we are going to be doing our high clues as usual, but there's a special competition for a special prize. So in order to enter the competition, if you head over to JOE.ie, you can find all the details there and the question that you need to answer to be in the running to win that glove. Go on, get the obligatory question out of the way. Can you guys enter? No, you can't. Can you guys win? No, you can't. Okay, happy enough now?
Yeah.
You used the Mind Stone there to read her head, didn't you?
Yeah.
Throwback.
But the amount of people in work who are like, when's the competition going? I was like, you can't win it. But it is for the viewers and the listeners out there. You guys will be in with a chance of winning it. We do have other Omniplex tickets to give away, and in order to get those, all you have to do is answer our high clue and figure out which film we're talking about. So I want to say a big congratulations to Patch353 on Twitter, who got the correct answer from last week. So we just take a quick look at that. That one was Colourful Doctor, Foxy Mother's Enchanted, Dog is a Genius. And Patch353, which is a lovely name, by the way. Congratulations
Is this
to your
the first
parents.
time a bot has won?
I don't think, because bots on Twitter usually have longer numbers, don't they? Longer surnames. But no, it turns out this is a real person. So Patch, if you're watching, you won the tickets. Congratulations. So this was Colourful Doctor, Foxy Mother's Enchanted, Dog is a Genius. And the answer, of course, was...
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Yes, because it says it on the screen. The explanation for that one, Colourful Doctor, that was, of course, Dr. Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd. So he's a very colourful character in his nature as well. And Brown is a colour, fact fans. Foxy Mother's Enchanted. Foxy was in relation to Michael J. Fox, and his mammy becomes enchanted with him whenever he goes back in time. His mammy falls in love with him, which is not great.
Bit of a fox as well.
And that's it. Yeah. She's a little bit of a fox as well. So Foxy Mother's Enchanted. Also, the ball, the high school ball that he plays at is
Enchanted Under the Sea.
Enchanted Under the Sea. So that's the Enchanted connection.
Marvin, it's your cousin.
Yeah. And then the final line, Dog is a Genius, because the dog in the film is, of course, named Einstein, who was a genius. So Colourful Doctor, Foxy Mother's Enchanted, Dog is a Genius. Thanks to everybody who entered the competition and got the correct answer, but it's all about Patch353 this week.
353rd patch.
353rd one, yes. So, good work, you. This week's high clue, though, and you can be in with a chance of winning those tickets again. Let's see it up on screen. Here we go. Pens at the ready. Now, we don't have Justine here to rack up the syllables, so we'll do our best. It's Irish Ralph's Bad Cop. Priest is butchered in plain view. Wolf's father taken. So for everybody listening, Irish Ralph's Bad Cop. Ralph is apostrophe S. Priest is butchered in plain view. Wolf's father taken, and wolf is apostrophe S. Wolf apostrophe S.
Right, or am I imagining
It
things?
is. Irish Ralph's Bad Cop, 5.
Irish Ralph's. Okay.
Priest is butchered in plain view, 7. Wolf's father taken, 5. Oh God, my nerves. I was crapping myself during that count there. I don't know how Justine does it. But yeah, so that's this week's high clue.
She had to take time off.
She did, yes. So we'll stick that up on Instagram. It'll be up on Twitter as well. You can enter the competition. But the main one is obviously the Infinity Gauntlet. We'll have that question up on Joe. It's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there. As well as that, Omniplex Cinemas, who our partners in crime on the show, they've launched a brand new loyalty card for their anyone who goes to Omniplex Cinemas all around the island of Ireland. It's called the My Omni Pass. You get cool things. You can see any film, basically, that's out. You can go along and see it once using your card. You can get 10% off your snacks and your goodies at the cinema. You can get money off your tickets for friends to come along if you have friends. That's on you. You need to get the friends first
That's a
And
good
then you can
incentive to make new friends.
It's a great incentive to
It's like
make
if
new
like trying to be
friends.
friends, like no, like I get you money
I
off
can get
tickets.
you 10% off
Cheap
your ticket at the
snacks.
cinema. So you can get that for €20 a month, and it's the My Omnipass. We're going to have more on that next week as well. But that's at all Omniplex cinemas all around the island of Ireland. I think that's everything. Infinity Gauntlet, High Clues, Anne Hathaway, just the one. Denise, what else? John
Dogs.
Wick. That was jammers.
But
That was
what's
good
next
going.
week?
Oh, what's coming up in next week's show? It is the stars of Aladdin, the live-action remake of the much-loved Disney classic. Roy had a chance to speak to Aladdin, played by
Mina Massoud.
Mina Massoud from Roscommon, and also Naomi Scott, who plays Princess Jasmine.
Yeah.
Which
She's in the new Charlie's Angels as well.
as well, is she?
She's going to have a good year.
She's going to have a fantastic year. So we're going to have those stars back next week. In the meantime, thanks to Shane for crapping himself watching the Chapter 2 trailer.
Cheers, Shane.
Thanks to Fiona. I don't know, Fiona, have you seen the trailer? Tell us after the show. Exciting. And thanks to Paul and thanks to Roy.
And thanks for bringing up the memory of our dead dogs.
Oh,
Thank you
yes,
very
sorry
much.
about
That was
that.
really appreciated.
You can
R.I.P.
use the glove to bring them back.
Oh, we can. So no need for your canine condolences.
And
We'll
no need for you to enter the competition because we're going to keep it.
We're going to keep the glove. Good luck to you.